Welcome to another episode of Coffee with Capril. Real coffee this time. Yeah, you can kind of see it in there. Not a prop. It's early. Gotta get a lot done today. All right. Well, I wanted to talk to you about something that's happening today to me. At 2 o'clock, apparently, a big truck's going to show up at my house with a car on top of the flatbed. And I'm going to buy a new car using Carvana. Now, this is a whole new experience for me. And I've made a lot of mistakes when it comes to cars. I'll be the first one to admit I'm not a car person per se. I am at a point though where, because I drive a lot and I'm getting a little older, comfort becomes really important because I get all these pains. But anyway, I hate the car buying process. Hate it. I never liked the fact that you haggled. I don't know. We don't haggle here in the United States, but for some reason, when it comes to cars and real estate, but real estate, I can handle that. You work through somebody. But when it comes to cars, I always get this feeling I always getting taken, even though I shouldn't. I mean, everybody's entitled to a profit, whatever. I never paid sticker, but anyway. So I decided I needed to make a change on my car because the car I bought a little over a year ago, it's just not very comfortable for these long rides that I'm doing. So I said, okay, let me get online here, and I had two issues. Number one is I wanted to see what they were willing to pay for my existing car. Used car prices are up. And so Carvana was willing to give me about $8,000 within what I paid for it the year before. And I put over 30, probably, well over 30,000 miles. So I was happy about that. Maybe if I had shopped more, somebody would have paid me more. But then I was able to transfer all that to get the car that I wanted. And I don't know where it's located, but they're shipping it over here today. Now, no doubt, you're going to pay a little bit more if you go this route. If you're going, I mean, you could always haggle more. I did not want to buy a brand new car. So, in fact, everyone I know who's buying a brand new car is waiting to get it. I wanted to buy a car that had some miles on it so that I wasn't paying the full cost. And I think I'm saving 10 grand over sticker because it's got 9,000 miles on it. So it's the car I want. I used to own it before, and it's just a slightly more recent model. And so I'm very excited about it. So what I wanted to tell you about, well, number one is if I hear more about this, I'm gonna share it with you. But just to kind of go over the process with you, it's very simple. Uh, y- Whether it be Carvana or there are several other companies out there. So Carvana is not the only one. But the first thing is you go online, you open an account, and if you're going to trade in your car, you enter some details, not a lot because it's tracked off your VIN number, your vehicle identification number. And within seconds, they'll give you a quote. Now, if you don't like that quote, they're not going to change your mind, but you could go to another, like CarMax, for example, and you could do it there, or you could go to your dealer, however you want. But the point here is that you're going to get information instantaneously. Then you identify the car that you want based on what their inventory is. And if it's very close, there's not going to be any transportation cost. If it's far away, they may charge you an extra $300 to get the car from California to where you are. Now, you are buying a car sight unseen, which I know some of you engineers out there are just, you got 7 days to change your mind. So after you get the car, if you don't like it, you have 7 days. I don't know what the mileage limitation is. I'm sure there is one, probably 500 miles or something like that. I will literally be taking that car today as soon as I get it and driving from Nashville back to Cincinnati. So whatever limitation that is probably going to lose out on it. But I'll know within the first 100 miles if this thing's a lemon, in which case I'll just, drive it right back. The real issue for me was time. Now we're in a period now where it's hard to get cars, very hard to get used cars. And of course, if you're going to buy a car that's been owned before, you don't have a lot of choices. It's not like you can pick what you want. You got to kind of go with what they have. So far, it looks great. Yes, you are going to pay a little bit more, but your time is worth something as well. Now, if you really love the car buying process, and I know some of you do, don't do this. Don't do this. This is intended for people like me who hate the car buying process, who hate the haggling, who always feel like they're getting taken. I did research to see what was reasonable to pay. It's Kelly Blue Book. You can go on their site. You can say, okay, for this model, what's a reasonable price, and it will give you the highs and lows within those range. So I did all that, but just the ease of doing it was quite simple. I just had to load the title up, PDF. I took a picture of my title, loaded that up of the car that I'm selling, and copied my driver's license, stuff like that. But very non-intrusive, and even did all the paperwork already. So I'll let you know how it goes further. But if this is something you're thinking about, so far so good. And it's difficult now. And one of the things that came out of COVID was this idea that you never have to leave your house for anything, including buying a car. So we'll keep you in mind. But something you might want to look at if you're thinking about getting one in the near future. Take care. Bye bye.